Welcome to the future of Shasta. For those that are tuning in online, we have a large crowd here. You cannot see them, but maybe you can all make some noise and scream for a second, louder. Prove that you're really here, that you're not a machine. Thank you for your attention, Internet. I think we are deserving of your attention. I think that we will influence you right now, here in this conversation, as well as the conversations to follow. We will encourage you. We will infuse hope, optimism for your region, regardless if you're part of Shasta County or not. I just happen to love Shasta County and hope you are one of the people that I have so much honor for. I love what you've done. I love what you're doing. I think that you are creating a phenomenal legacy in your family with 4 children. In the business world, here in Redding, in Anderson, I know that your legacy will impact a much larger region than here. I think that you are a model of what people, not women, what people can achieve. And I'm just so happy to hear your answers to my questions.
Thank you.
So the first question is, if anything was possible, if you personally had unlimited resources, if Shasta County had unlimited resources, if every single thing people would say yes to, if the wind was in your sails, if you could not lose, if the county could not lose, and you had 10 years, just a long time from now, what could Shasta County become?
That's such a great question. So when I was thinking about this question, there's that part of me that wanted to be real idealistic and vision-oriented because my name is Hope, right? And so I do have something that fits that, but then I have some concrete answers too.
Awesome.
So I took my name and I spelled out each letter, and I feel like H stands for health. I feel like a healthy community. We want to be a community that takes advantage of our environment, but we also care about the health of our bodies, our minds, our emotions, our spirit. And as a community, there are so many efforts being underway to make sure we are a healthy community. The O stands for opportunity. I feel like we are a community that will be known for opportunity. There's opportunity that you can actually do in a small town that you don't have in big, large cities. If you look at From the Hearth and you look at some of these Black Bear Diner that started here and how it's expanded, it's so much easier to get started, and then you can take that out. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the coming years. P stands for peace. And I think that there's a peace and an honor and a respect among each other. But I think that's going to radiate out into the community. And E stands for education. Education really does open the door. It allows you to look outside a box that we're all kind of born in. Some people's boxes are bigger than others, but education and being able to be exposed to things that are beyond that box are so important to growth and progress. So that's my big vision, but I'd love to do some concrete things, and I really feel like 10 years is it's a drop in the bucket.
Yes.
If you have kids, you know that, right? So I believe that we're going to see the rise of the remote worker.
Yes.
We're going to see remote working. It's already happening, but we're going to see it to greater extents here. New talent base. There's going to be a new base of talent and skills. Rachel Hatch just even posted that she just met someone today who had blockchain technology, born, raised right here, and working on it from here. So I think we're going to discover a whole new talent base that's here. I think there's going to be an explosion of creativity that we're going to see. This is a very creative community, and I think we're going to see new endeavors and new places of creativity and a new skill level of excellence. Creativity inspires excellence. We're going to see a new wave of entrepreneurship. Small businesses, we see a lot of those small businesses, we service them and we go, but I think we're going to see a different type of entrepreneurship, more risk, and more around the experience-based economy, where a lot of experiences and unique things we're going to see. I think we're going to see specialized training, hybrid models of education with traditional education with real skills that are going to produce high wage and skill training. Investors, You know, I really feel like we're going to start to draw. I think in 10 years, we're going to be amazed at the level of investment that we attract from the outside. They're going to start to notice what's happening here, and they're going to want to get in on it. I think our downtown momentum in 10 years is going to have leaked over and carried over into the neighborhoods. And we're going to see a revitalization of the neighborhoods adjacent to downtown, but I also feel like it's going to go over into Park Marina, and we'll see that then begin to take shape. And then finally, I just feel like we're going to be a model city that shows what cities can be like that are in the middle of transition. There are so many cities that are in our exact same scenario with high rates of unemployment or poverty, or they're more rural, they're not connected to a metropolitan area. And I really believe that in 10 years, they're going to be coming to us and say, what did you do? And almost in disbelief, like, I just can't even believe that that's where you were, and here's where you've come to.
I love that. Does that resonate with all of you? Don't you think that's real? Can't we do that in 10 years? If we're patient, can't we do that? If we're consistent, if we don't give up, can't we achieve that? I think so. Who inspires you? Person, people, organization, like who you chasing after, who you listening to, who you following when they speak? You be quiet, you take notes. Who's your inspiration?
Yeah. You know, I really have come to really enjoy hearing the future scouts. I call them future scouts. They live in the community, but they are like on the edge of the future. I see them going out. They're like looking out over the community at what's being done outside, but they're part of our community, and they want to discover those things and bring them back to us. And I feel like it's so important as a community that we have really open minds and open arms to hear things that we haven't heard before and we haven't seen before, but others are on the edge. They're out there scouting what's coming down the road. Yeah. Future Scouts, in terms of real local, the McConnell Foundation, everything they do is with excellence. And if I was going to take one thing that they do is they do it with excellence. And I think as a community, we really have to, whenever we take on a project, we need to do it with excellence. Another really that I've been impressed with locally is the public sector. So education, healthcare, government, you know, you don't really think of those as kind of being, they have a really hard job. And as I've kind of gotten involved with it, it's like it all looks easy from the outside to have a solution until you're actually trying to work inside the boxes and confines that they have. So anyone who is inside that system that is looking innovatively and they're saying, how do we create out-of-the-box solutions, and how do we welcome out-of-the-box solutions, and how can we apply them? So I'm working with a couple collaboratives. Reach Higher Shasta is an educational collaborative that is doing just that. It's a partnership with business. It's a partnership with public health, with our K-12, early childhood, our colleges, and they're all coming together saying, how across the whole county can we implement improvements for our kids so that they are prepared for every option that they may want to go into after high school and college. It's a real innovative way. They're inside the system, but they're looking outside for answers. They're looking outside for innovative ways to move us forward. So I really respect that because it's hard. And then finally, I just kind of wanted to throw this out there is I look at Dubai. You guys watch what's going on in Dubai? Like, that's a crazy place. And it's if they have shown the world what you would do if money was absolutely no consideration. Yeah. Like, you just don't even have to think about whether or not there's enough money. And that challenges me because when I had the question, what would you do in 10 years? I actually had a hard time coming up with something very concrete. Yeah. And I think it's because we're so conditioned to dream within a confine of our resources. And so if we could somehow dream outside of resources and say what would be possible, then I think the convergence of people, ideas, and resources, we'll start to see that convergence. And that's what's going on with Dubai.
Yeah, I love that. I had, there's one night I had like 5 dreams in a row. And it was the same exact dream every time. And it was basically that Redding had become as extravagantly epic as Dubai. Reading, it was Reading, but it looked like the Apple building, the new circle, because it was built low to the ground. But that level of abundant prosperity and innovation had literally covered Shasta County. And it was over and over and over again. And I'll touch on that again through the night. There's a little teaser of what's to come. I want to ask you another question. Just be sensitive on time. We have a couple minutes left together. Just at this moment, we'll have lots of time to keep dreaming together in the future. I really want to actually, because you did some practical things, so I really want to dive into the call to action. And take your time. Like, don't rush it. Don't say it fast. Like, clearly articulate what can the people in this room do to get us to what Shasta County is going to become with or without their help. See, all of you here, and those of you that live here that are watching online, it's your privilege to be able to hear a call to action and how you can actually do something about it. You don't have to. You can watch everybody else do it if you want, or you can jump in and be a part of something bigger than yourself. How do we get there?
That's a good question. So, as I've worked with different organizations, one of the things I notice, especially around roundtables, is that you think of things like a pie of resources, and then everybody kind of tries to grab a piece of that pie of resources. And what it does is actually creates division within the community trying to compete for similar resources. And if we could somehow draw a bigger pie and draw a bigger vision so that we then become part of that bigger vision, right? So our piece, instead of all kind of trying to get our piece, we're all actually part of this larger vision, and we're coordinating our time and our resources together. So that's one thing I see that sometimes will keep things from moving forward is we actually just, we're trying to get our share for our organization, but when we work together, I also feel like just be open, invite, go outside of Reading, travel a little bit, see what's being done. The other thing, I think a real call to action is we're building a community not for ourselves. We really aren't. Development, if you look at development, I can't even believe the patience of most land developers, you know? We're building a community for our children. I mean, even if downtown and Park Marina and all of that become the beautiful places we envision, it's our children that are going to enjoy it, right? So I feel like we need to invite perspective, we need to get involved, and we need to really see and coordinate our efforts so that we're really working in alignment and welcoming the outsider.
Yeah.
We need to welcome the outsider
Yes.
because our connections outside the community is part of what opens up the box that we know and understand here.
Awesome. We're out of time, but last thing, look right at that camera.
Okay.
It's a perfect frame. I'm not even in it. I'm looking at you, but you're just there. There's a lot of people watching. Give them one sentence. Speak to the digital audience. Share your heart with them, and we'll conclude the time.
Okay. The future belongs to those who show up. So find something you love, find something you're passionate about, and show up.
So good.